If you think you need to spend a whole bunch of money to get the super organized look you see on Pinterest and Instagram and here on YouTube, then stay tuned because I'm gonna tell you exactly how you can get organized for free. So I wanna go through a few different things with you and a few different ways that you can get organized that are all completely free. And the first thing I want to talk about is just using some good old-fashioned organizing strategies. I would say some of the main ones that make such a huge impact when I'm trying to organize a new space are to sort items by category. A lot of organizing is going to be the visual aesthetics of it, but it's also about functionality. So sorting items, putting like items together and sorting by category is going to make a huge difference in both the aesthetics of your space, but also in the functionality. Also, putting things where they belong, meaning where you're going to use them. I like to use the example, I do this all the time, of my coffee machine. I have a Keurig and my coffee mugs. I think it makes the most sense to put my coffee mugs right by my coffee maker. It wouldn't make sense for me every morning to have to go to one area to get my coffee, another area to get my mug, then another area to fill the pot up, then all the way back over to go get sugar and all over the place. It makes sense to have a little bit of a coffee station, right? You want to streamline things and make your life easier. That's the whole point of organizing. So tips like that, again, and strategies, completely free. Now, there's one tip and strategy, I guess, when you're organizing that I think is number one out of all of these, and that makes a huge difference, and that is decluttering. Decluttering costs you no money at all and is going to have the biggest impact on how organized your house looks. When you own less, there's less to organize and there's less clutter, less to clean up. There are so many benefits to decluttering. I have been running a 6-month sophisticated organization decluttering challenge. If you're interested in decluttering your entire house in 6 months, it's completely free. And I've been running it on YouTube and Instagram. And I do actually have an ebook that is not free, but I have an ebook that will guide you along through that process as well. But you honestly, you don't even need that. You don't need me or anybody else to go through your house and to start decluttering and making a huge impact. Another way is to go digital. Going digital can cost money, but oftentimes it can be completely free. And of course you can't digitize absolutely everything in your home. You are gonna have to have physical items, but there are tons of areas in your house that you probably can go digital that you haven't been thinking of, and you can make a major impact and be able to get rid of some items out of your house and find some organizational systems that might be on your computer or your phone, in the cloud, what have you, but digital rather than physical organization. So some of my favorite things to digitize are contact cards, and get rid of all of those business cards that you have. Just add them to your contacts lists. I actually like to use the Notes app a lot as well for a lot of my papers and files. If you have an iPhone or a Mac and you're in the Apple family, the Notes app is great because it syncs between all of your devices, and it has a scan document feature, so you can actually scan different documents. Sometimes I'll put cards from friends and family members on my birthday or holidays or something like that and scan them and keep them in a Notes app. But there are so many apps out there, and I actually want to share a video in the future of some of my favorite different apps for productivity and organizing. But there are apps out there that will specifically help you with digitizing your greeting cards, or apps that will help you digitize some of your other documents. And some are paid, but there are definitely free ones, so keep an eye out. Another thing that you can get rid of probably and rely on the digital world is a lot of the manuals that you might have in your home for all of the different products and appliances that you have, just do a quick Google search and see if you can find the manual for that appliance or whatever the product is online. You can even keep like a Word document, or again in the Notes app, link to all of the different appliances that you have, so you don't have to keep researching for them, and you'll just have that link really easy to access. But you can get that clutter out of your house by going digital. This next one is super specific, but it's following the motto, file, don't pile. Now, the first thing I think of when I think of file, don't pile is file folding. So if you haven't heard of file folding before, it was made popular by Marie Kondo and the KonMari method. It's basically a way of folding your clothing so that the clothing then lines up next to each other, filed, kind of like a file cabinet, rather than the traditional way of folding where items are stacked on top of each other. And there are methods that you can fold your clothes so that they actually stand up a little bit better on their sides and don't topple over so easily as they would if you just folded them the traditional way. But it makes for a more visually appealing space, which we've talked about is a great added benefit of organizing. But it also has the benefit of being able to find what you're looking for, streamlining your life, making things easier. So instead of digging through that pile of clothing to find that specific shirt that you're looking for, you can easily visually see everything you have in front of you, grab that one shirt without disturbing the others and without toppling over the whole pile, and just get the one item you need. So file folding is great for clothing, but the motto of file, don't pile, I apply all over the place. I've talked about it in my freezer organization. I've talked about it all over the house. So anytime you're having an organizing struggle, especially if things are stacked on top of each other, think to yourself, what would happen if I flipped things on their side? Would that make it easier for me to access what I'm trying to get to? Would that help this process? So that tip is a freebie in line with this video. Next up is get creative with what you have in your house. You might be thinking to yourself, that's great, I can sort things by category, I can declutter, I can digitize, I can file, not pile, use all these great strategies, but at some point I'm going to need something to help me contain items, and I'm going to need some sort of traditional bin, basket, organizer. Getting creative with what you have in your house is the perfect solution here. I love to go out and buy new organizing products as much as the next person, but sometimes there are things that you already own and you can reuse and repurpose. Now, the level of creativity you want to get to is completely up to you. You can go as far and as extreme as using old boxes and covering them in nice paper to make your own drawer organizers. There's weird hacks out there where you can use old paper towel and toilet paper rolls to get organized. So you can go that extreme, but you can also use things like a mason jar to organize a bunch of your pens and put them in that way. Just find other things around your house that you've maybe previously purchased and use them for something else instead of throwing them away. A great example that I have of this is that I have letter sorters that I've used to organize my sandals, flip-flops, and clutches and smaller purses in my closet. So they were letter organizers that I was previously using in my office. It wasn't a system that was working for me anymore, so I repurposed them, and thinking about things as creatively as you can is going to pay off a lot and help you get even more organized. My last tip is to use as many free resources as possible. So whether that's free printables that you can find online that help you get organized and help with your productivity, or watching YouTube videos like this, or following people on Instagram, taking advantage of Pinterest, there are endless free resources online. So don't be afraid to search the internet and find something that can help you, and find something that's free. You don't always need to find paid content, and paid content doesn't necessarily mean it's better than free content. So find that free content and take full advantage of it. So those are my tips for you today. Hopefully you feel a little inspired that you can get organized and it doesn't have to cost any money at all. If you liked today's video, I'd appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And until next time, I will see you guys later.